You listen, you smile, and then you think, "Fuck you, amygdala," and go back to living your life. Hey guys, today we're taking a look at Unfuck Your Brain by Faith G Harper, PhD. This book, and I should say the subtitle is Using Science to Get Over Anxiety, Depression, Anger, Freakouts, and Triggers. I am not probably the target audience of this book. I don't really consider myself, to be an extremely anxious person, extremely depressed person. I'm not really prone to freakouts and triggers. Anger, I can be a little short-tempered, but I don't think that's really what this is about. So realize that too when I talk about all this stuff. The reason I picked this up is because it was a free book on Audible, and it was actually narrated by Faith G Harper herself, which is really cool. But yeah, it was a free book, so I thought I'd check it out. The title kind of caught me, like, oh, all right. So yeah, let's get into it a little bit. About the author. Faith G Harper is a professional counselor, and she works with people who deal with this type of stuff. So very qualified person to be talking about all of this. What is this about? Well, it's just like what it is. I listened to the audiobook, but the book itself is very small. It's a very short book. It's not even, it's like 180 pages or so. The book is divided up into two parts. One is This Is Your Brain on Trauma, which includes how our brains get f***ed, how trauma rewires the brain, unfuck your brain, getting better, retrain your brain, getting professional help, treatment options. And then part 2 consists of This Is Your Brain on Life, anxiety, anger, addiction, depression, and the importance of honoring grief. So it kind of goes through, if you're dealing with any of those things specifically, and how to get over it, how you should mentally think about it, and just understanding some of the things about your brain and how it works, which I thought was overall interesting. So pros and cons. It's very easy to read. A con for me personally, I really didn't like how the book was written. You can kind of expect it, but the amount of swear words in here is, for me at least, verges on ridiculous. I'm not probably, again, their target audience, but I was just like, it seems like she was just swearing to swear, and that kind of turned me off, honestly. I just didn't really like it very much. I also felt like a lot of it was, I'm not the target audience, but for me, just reading it, it was kind of like a lot of stuff that's common sense. But if you're dealing with this stuff, it might not be common sense to you. So, not to say I'm some genius with all this stuff by any means, but a lot of it was fluff. It felt like to me. Pros about it was interesting. Some of it, the parts about the brain was interesting to me. I thought there were some good points brought out throughout this. So yeah, would I recommend this book? It's hard to say. If you're dealing with any of this stuff and you like that vibe that this book gives off, yeah, sure. I would personally not recommend it to anyone. This is probably the worst book I've read all year, and I've read some really fantastic books throughout this entire year, but this is my least favorite of all the books I've read. It just didn't really speak to me. I didn't like the vibe it gave off. I don't really like swearing that much, just in general. Peppering it in every once in a while can be funny, but the amount of, it's just like, it verges on being ridiculous. So yeah, I personally probably wouldn't recommend it to someone who's going through stuff. I'd recommend probably other avenues than reading this book. So yeah, I mean, if you think this would be interesting for you, and if you think, you know, this type of reading would be good, you know, it's like, I'll just show you the beginning. This is totally not Adam. This is the opposite of a book that I would read, just with that opening artwork. Nothing against it, but it, you know, and the font is, you know, and it's just not an Adam book. Not that an Adam book is a good book, you know, it's just not an Adam book. So anyways, yeah, take this review for what you will. Just, again, realize I'm not the target audience, but I personally didn't really love it very much. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. If you liked the video, thumbs up, subscribe, bell button. Comment below what you thought of the book if you've read it. If you have any suggestions for other books, maybe like this, that you think might fit my taste a little bit better. I'm always interested in reading, you know, psychology books and all that kind of stuff too. So, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one.